Hi everyone, how are you? Um, so I'm going to start doing some segments on just some clips on Bible stories. It may seem a little cheesy. I love the Bible. I have a degree in biblical archaeology. Um, and one of my passions is that I wish that the Bible came alive for people. And that's actually why I love the archaeology, right? So that we can put them together. Um, but I find that a lot of people don't read their Bible because they get lost in the verbiage, or they feel like they don't understand what's going on. And that's not everybody. Some people read the Bible and still don't understand, or do understand. So it's not a blanket statement. But I thought it would be fun to tell Bible stories just as a story, and then don't mind the dog rolling around in the back, and then maybe in the comments we can get some conversations going and stuff like that. So we will see how it goes. I thought I'd start with what was my favorite story as a child. You're probably going to think I'm a little twisted, but it's about a guy named Ehud, and he was a left-handed man. It's very important to the story, who rescued Israel from the Moabite king. His name was Eglon. And so what happens is, it's in the book of Judges 3, and it starts at 3:20, I believe. So Israel has sinned, and so God has allowed them to be oppressed by their neighbors, the Moabites. The Eglon is the king, and so he's requiring them to bring tribute to him. So Ehud is one of the guys who is selected to go take the tribute to the king. So before he goes, he makes a sword, and the Bible says it's double-bladed or double-edged on the blade, and that it's 1 cubit long. And in the Bible, when it says it's 1 cubit long, that's usually for a man. From the elbow to, it says the knuckles on a fist. Okay, so about 18 inches or 45 centimeters long. So what he does is he straps it underneath his cloak. He straps it to his right thigh because he's left-handed, right? So from that way. So when he comes to see the king and brings tribute, I guess they only check right as if you were right-handed, because they didn't see it. They only checked on the left-hand side if there would have been a hidden dagger or weapon or sword. So everybody pays tribute, and then the king, Elon, he sends everybody away. But the king stays. He's been feasting, and the Bible says that he is a very fat man. Okay, so he's probably in a food coma at this point, right? So he sends everybody away, except that Ehud, he doesn't leave. He goes up to the king. He goes, "I have a secret message for you." And so Elon's excited, and he tells everybody to leave the room, right? He's like, "Leave the room." And so the king is still on his throne, and I made up a name, Ehud, says, "The message is from God, and it's a secret." So Elon is excited, so he gets up out of his throne, and he goes up to Ehud. So Ehud pulls out his secret sword, and he shoves it into the king's stomach. And the Bible says that the man was so fat that when he shoved it into the stomach of the king, that not only did the blade disappear, but so did the hilt. Like, his stomach sucked it all in. It's really disgusting and really cool. And obviously he died. Like, all of his entrails were spilling out and everything like that. So Ehud leaves the room, and he locks the doors, and he books it, right? He's like, "I'm out of here." Now the servants are waiting to go back in, and it's taken a long time. And so it's in one version it says they waited to the point of embarrassment. So they're having this conversation with each other, "Well, maybe you had to go to the bathroom." Sincerely, it's in the Bible. Everything. So finally they break down the door, and they find out he's dead, right? Well, Ehud has made it back to his territory, and he sounds the alarm. He's like, "Listen, guys, the king is dead. We have the chance. Let's go take back our land," right? And so the Israelites join him, and they do. They take back the land it says for another 80 years, I believe. Okay, so it's a pretty cool story, right? You got a fat dude, so fat that his stomach envelops the sword. My mom said I had come out of my bedroom. I was like, Mom, did you know there was a guy in the Bible so fat that when they stabbed him, his stomach swallowed the sword? So it's just, I find here. One, obviously left-handed men were not a common thing if they didn't think to check for it, and that it was easy for him to get away. And then two, we see that there are tribal wars going on, or at least clan type of wars with like Israel and Moab, and that tribute was a thing that was being paid even way back then. It wasn't just like a medieval idea. On the biblical point of view, like some points that we could take away from this is God can bring your salvation from out of left field or left hand, but from somebody that you're not expecting. So Ehud is from the tribe of Benjamin, and that's considered like the smallest tribe of Israel. So he's basically like really a no one, but God brought it from someone that you wouldn't think it was from. And so for me, I was thinking about this morning too, like it's kind of like small beginnings. Like he would like Saul uses the excuse, I'm from the smallest tribe, and da 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 da. And so that's what made me think about small beginnings. Like Ehud would have been considered like a small beginning. Yeah, you killed the king, but you're not going to have the full breakthrough and victory unless you go and take out the whole enemy, right? Which is going to be a lot easier because the king's dead. But you have to follow through on that first breakthrough. You can't just stop and be like, the king's dead, good enough, Oh, God gave me this breakthrough. I'm just going to sit here and dwell on that. So those are my takeaways. What I think would be cool is if in the comments, if maybe you told us some of your favorite Bible stories, and then maybe we can go through them. Any ideas or comments also about the story.